So, hello everyone. Okay, so this session will contain DBMS interview question. So, like master the database interview question from the fundamental SQL concept to advanced system design scenario. So, this in-depth guide cover everything that we need to pace the DBMS interview, and you have to land on your in the next roles what you needed. Okay. Okay, just wait for 1 minute. So like the first thing is that so like so get ready for the DBMS interview question. Okay. Must be like this one. Okay. So you might know databases from your daily work, but interview test you differently than the real world scenario. Okay. The interviewer does not know, just want to see if you can write the SQL query. Okay. So we can might know that a database from the daily to daily work. Interviewers just want to check that interviewer don't just want to see that you can write the query. They will test you that you are understanding on the normalization. So they test the thing is that is normalization, asset property, and understanding and how you handle the database. Okay, performance. Okay. Performance and can explain the concept they can and they in everyday life and the struggle with the behavior question. Okay, and then might work with the data team or not. So these are the these are the query of interviewer, so that check that you can work with the database team or not. Okay, so these are the things. Okay. This guide cover the most frequent asked DBMS interview question and across all difficulty level. Okay. You also like you will you will also get a proven strategy for the acing this scenario based question, and tip that help you to stand out from the other candidate is that uh so so let's skip all this thing. Let's start the foundation question that every DBMS interview begin with. So, the basic interview question that expect this question at the beginning of this technical interview. They test your foundation understanding of the database management system, and then interviewer use this question to see that whether you understand the core database concept more before moving to the complex scenario. Okay, and practical questions. So the first question is that is simple thing. Like first question is, let's see the first question. What is database management system? Okay. So like this is the first question, and we have to answer like database management system is a software that manage the, so it's kind of like a database. So this is a database. Okay, so this database management handles storing retrieving. So it handle what it handle. So we have to write. So like, okay. So we can say that. So it handle storing, retrieving, and organizing the data while ensuring the security and consistency. So like these are the like storing, retrieving, and ensuring the security and the consistency on the database. Okay. And think of all like it middleman between your application and the actual file. Okay. So like app. So like your like application window. This is the like database, and this like database and your file. So it act as a middleman between your application and the files. Okay. So it handles this retrieving and organizing and ignoring data while ensuring the consistency, all these things. Okay. So popular example, so that we know that the popular example we have to. Okay. So popular example are like MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, and SQL Server. Okay. So MySQL, Postgres, like Post, like Post, Gray SQL, Oracle, and the SQL Server. These are the example of the database. So DBMS handle like user authentication, data backup, and make sure that the user can handle data without corrupting it. Okay. Ensuring the security and the consistency. Okay, so let's move. So in short, we have to answer like what is database management system. So like it handle like database management system is a software that manage the database, and it handle for storing, retrieving, and organizing the data, and also ensuring the consistency and security. So if I think, so we have to think like it is a middleman between your application and the actual data file. And popular example that are the MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle, and the SQL Server. Okay. Database handle the task like authentication, data backup. So we can write here. So we can say that. So like database handle task like authentication, data backup, and show multiple user, multiple user, and can access data without corrupting. Okay. So like database handle the task like authentication, data backup, and so the multiple user and can access data without corrupting it. So this is all about the what is database management system. Okay. And if we answer this question, so let's move to the next question. That is, so move to the next question. That is second. Second question, that is, what is the difference between database and DBMS? Okay. The second question is that what is the difference between database and DBMS? Okay. So like a database is a collection. So when we are talking about the like a database, okay, database. Okay. So this is the database and database. So we can say that database is the like collection of data itself, while DBMS is like database is a collection of data. Okay. So we can say that. So this one is a database is a collection of data itself, and whereas in the case of and the like DBMS is a software that manages the data. So these are like a difference. So database is a collection of data and the DBMS is a software that manages the data. Okay. So these are the two difference. And the database contain your table. So what this database contain? Okay. So the DBMS provide a tool and interface to interact with data. Okay. And the DBMS provided tools and the interface to interact with the data and interact with the, and it like a difference between library and the like DBMS. Okay. So this is the second question, that is like what is the difference between database and a DBMS? So database is a collection of data itself, but DBMS is the software that manages the data. Okay. So like okay, the database contain all these things. So database contain the tables, record, and the relationship, while DBMS provided tool and interface to interact with the data. Okay. So like third question is that explain the asset property in database transaction. Like so this is the asset property we have to explain in the transaction. So like what is the asset property? So asset property, so like we know that AC so A ACID ACID. So this asset principle makes sure that database transactions are reliable and maintain data integrity. So we can say that what does A mean? So like A stand for the atomicity, okay. C stand for the consistency, okay, and I stand for the isolation, okay. D stand for durability. So these are things. So like atomicity mean that all the operation in transaction succeeded or failed together, okay. Consistency means data remain valid according to these defined rules, and the isolation means that the concurrent transaction does not interface with each other. Durability means that committed change survive when a system crashes. So this means that so if we are talking about the like atomicity, we can say that like if a transaction happen, we can say that or nothing, all or nothing. So if transaction happen fully or not happen, like feel like whole. Consistency means data remain valid according to some rules. Okay. Isolation means that if two transactions happening at the same time, so it does not interfere with each other. Okay. And durability means that even the system crashes, the data remains survive. Okay. So like here in a everyday example, that when you transfer the money to like between the banks, so both the debit and credit happen together. Okay. So that in case atomicity works. Okay. The total balance rule stay valid. Okay. Other transaction does not see the partial state, that is isolation, and the change persists even the system get crash, there is durability. Okay. So this is like what is the asset property. So like move to the another question. What are different type of database key? So like when we are talking about the different type of database keys, okay, okay, database. keys. So database keys are used like a unique identified record. So what we call like a database key. So we can say that database key are used in uniquely identifying record and establish relationship. Okay, and establish the relationship. And here are the like primary keys that we know that like what are the key? Primary key and foreign key and foreign key, and third is like candidate key, composite key, composite, candidate key, composite key. Okay, and last one is a unique key, unique key. So these are the different type of database key. So like when we are talking about database key, so database keys are like uniquely identifying record and established. So first is like primary key, then foreign key, and candidate key, and then composite key. Okay, and the like last is like unique key. Okay. Hello. Okay. So like when we're talking about the primary key, so primary key means that uniquely identify each row. So this key is like identify uniquely each row. And a foreign key, it is a referential of the primary key in another table. Like it refers the primary key of the another table. When talking about the candidate key, so any column that could serve as a primary key, like email can be served as a like any column that can be served as a like primary key is known as candidate key. And third is like fourth is like composite key. So primary key made of multiple columns, so it's known as composite key. Like roll number and the email make a composite key. Okay, unique key ensure that allow one null value. So okay, primary key cannot be a null, but unique key may be a null. Okay, so these are like different type of key in a database, and we can use this one. So if I have to give an example, so if I have to give this example, so I have to write like this thing. Okay, so create table employees. Okay, create table employees. So employee ID. Okay, and this is a primary key. Okay, when you are talking about department, so department is an integer. Okay, and email also we have to like comma talking about the email, so that is variable character of something like 100. This one is a unique. Okay, and the foreign key. Okay, foreign key like and department like foreign key that is like department ID. So these are department ID, and that refers to have a reference to department ID. Okay, so these are example of different key that we use here. Okay, and let's move to the next question. So let's move to the next question, that is what is normalization and why it is good. Normal and why it is good, and why is it good. Okay, so like a normalization element, so we can say that so what does normalization do? So like normalization eliminate the data redundancy by organizing data into the separate related table. Okay, so like organize the table database and like separate and related related table. Like normalization eliminate the data redundancy and by organizing the data into the separate and the related table. So this means that normalization. So it provide it prevent the data inconsistency and save the storage space. So like benefit of this one is save the storage space and the main control is framework. So like different type of normalization is like one and a form. So that is first normal form, and the first normal form is that column contain each column contain a atomic value, mean that only one value, no list or multiple value in a single cell. Like student ID must be one. Oh, okay. But in the course we can see that like math, science, and art, all these things. So this is a bad example. So in that case, we have to like so like if I have to give the example, so like if is like student ID, okay, student ID and the course. So like if we have like student ID one, if I'm using math, science, chemistry, so this will be like a no column contain multiple values. So instead of doing this one, so instead of doing this one, we can write a student ID, that is, and we have different courses. Okay, course. So we can write one, or like we can write math, science, or arts. Okay, so these are the different. So this is a good example of one and a form. Okay, so the second thing is second thing or second value, that is second 2NF form. So 2NF form. So 2NF form explained that it must first of all it must be in the 1NF form. Okay, before having the 2NF form we must have a 1NF form. Okay, it must be in 1NF form and remove the partial dependency. No key column must depend on the entire primary key, not just a part. So this apply when we have a composite primary key, and if you have a table with like student ID and a column ID as a primary key, okay, the student names should not be in the table because it only depend on the student ID, okay, not the keys. Okay, this means that there is no partial dependency between these. And the third is that 3NF form. Okay, so 3NF, it must be, and first of all before moving to 3NF form, it must be in a 2NF form, like properties of 2NF form, and it must be in 2NF form and remove the transitive dependency. In 3NF form, like it remove the transitive dependency. Okay, where we are. So first of all, for the 3NF form, third normal form, that it remove the transitive dependency and no key column shouldn't depend on the non-key column. Okay, so student ID 1, advisor 1, and advisor office 205. So advisor office and depend on the advisor ID, not directly on the student. Okay, so split into like separate table. Without normalization, you did store customer info with every order. Okay, which waste the space and create an update problem when customer detail changes. Okay, so normalization make the data normal and like consistent. So if we have like too much values and we have to update, like it become hectic. Okay, and another thing, so we'll move to the next question. That is okay. That is explain the difference between delete, drop, and truncate. Okay, so these are the like question we have to explain the delete, drop, and the truncate. Okay, so what are the meaning and what are the use cases of this one? Okay, So first of all, delete remove the specific row. So actually it removed this specific row. So we can write here about the delete. So delete remove a specific row and roll back. Okay. The feature of delete is that delete remove the specific row and become rollback. Okay. Another is that is drop. So what are the use cases of the drop? So we can say that drop remove the entire table and its structure. That is like drop remove the entire table and its structure. When we're talking about the like that is truncate. What is truncate? So for the truncate we can say that truncate remove all rows but keep the table structure as it is, like faster than delete. Okay. So these are the three difference we are seeing. These are the three difference. So delete have some specific, it removes some specific row. So we can write delete from employee table where like department ID is this one. Okay. So we write like this one, delete from employee table where department ID is 5. So it remove this specific row and it can be rolled back. When we are talking about it drop, so like we can drop table employees. So it remove the entire table and its structure. Okay. And the example of the truncate, so when we write like truncate table employee, so it remove all the datas in the table, all the rows, but keep the table structure, okay, as it is. So these are the three difference of the delete, drop and truncate. Move to the next question, that is, so it must be like so like third question, like another question. What's the difference between inner join and the outer join? So we have to understand what is the difference between this inner join and the outer join. Okay. So we have to explain. So inner join, let's see. So inner join return only matching record from the both table. Okay. So when we are talking about the inner join, it return the matching rows. It like a inner join return the like matching records from the both table. Okay. So like not both table, both table. Okay. So we have to see like inner join, what are the common similarity between two tables. Okay. So these are like things like we can we can write like this. So like select e dot name or like d dot department name. Okay. And from employees e. Okay. And inner join department, like we sort in department, like inner join. So select employee name, department name from the employee table, that is E, inner join with the department D on, okay, on where we are like on E dot department name is equal to department ID. Okay, department ID is equal to department ID or DID. Okay. So these are like a select like employee name or department name from the employee name. Okay. So this can like inner join return the matching keyword. Okay. And what is the outer join? So like we have to write about the outer join. Outer join include non-matching records. Okay. So outer join include the non-matching records, and these some of the example that are left join, right join, and outer join. Okay. This one is a full outer join. Okay. So like these are different. So outer join included non-matching record, like we have left join, right join. Okay. And the full outer join. So these are the differences. So left join record all the record from the left table or matching from the right table, and right join all record from the right table, but matching record from the left table. All record from the both table. Okay. So okay. So we have to stop this session here, and in the next session we will continue from this place. Okay.